So the reason why I don't want David Benavidez to fight Canelo right now is because I think David can definitely beat Canelo. Not only beat him, but hurt him or knock him out. I know that's hard to believe, but it's definitely possible. If anybody's gonna knock Canelo out, it's gonna be at 175 or David Benavidez. Because the guy has obviously an iron chin. He's never been hurt. Only when he was 19, I think, against the Puerto Rican guy, um, Jose Cotto. But his chin hadn't developed yet, so that's understandable. Same with David. David was knocked down, but I've seen that replay before. He was 20 years old, a couple months older than when Canelo got wobbled in that at 19. So David was off balance a little bit. He kind of lunged in and he was on one foot almost, and he got caught and he got dropped. He wasn't even dazed, I don't believe. He was just off balance. So and again, he was younger. He didn't have his mass strength yet, and maybe his chin hadn't developed yet, just like Canelo when he was 19 and he got hurt. But the reason why I think David can beat Canelo or hurt him is because I saw the Andrade fight a couple of times over, and I saw how much David has grown in the ring, how mature he has become. Because I went and saw his David Durrell fight, and is obviously I bought the Caleb Plant fight, and in those fights, he was kind of immature. He was overthinking in there. He was not. He was too emotional against Plant, and that's why he said it himself that he was trying to catch Caleb Plant with one punch, and that's why he struggled to catch him in the first 5 rounds. And that's not his game. That's not who David is. David is a guy that comes forward and beats you down with accumulation of punches. And so it took him out of his game. That's what emotion does. That's why you can't fight with emotion. Same thing happened with Tio versus Camboso. Fight with emotion, and it also gasses you out. It just gets you out of your game plan and it gasses you out. And then you end up, giving up rounds, or in Tio's case, losing the fight. But David gave up those 5 rounds out of pure emotion. He was too mad, and wanted to hurt Caleb Plant so bad that it took him out of his game. Anyway, in the Andrade fight, you could tell he was focused. He was not emotional. He was at peace with who he is. He knows who he is now, and he is the Mexican monster, the guy that comes forward and throws punches and bunches and breaks you down and finds, even if you have your guard up, he'll pierce through your guard. It don't matter. He'll reach around your waist, catch you to the body. His arms are so long. He's so quick, and you can't. Andrade was trying to hide from this guy in the ring, trying to run and hide behind his guard, and he just could not do it. Andrade spent the first 2 rounds like trying way too hard to keep Benavidez off of him, and you knew at some point he was going to gas out because he was too stressed out trying to keep this guy off, and the commentator was like, oh, he's doing great, he's catching David Benavidez. But after watching the fight for myself, he wasn't catching Benavidez clean or at all, to be honest. David Benavidez, this is the reason why I think David will beat Canelo. David, even as he was coming forward, even throwing punches, even on the inside, trying to get on the inside, trying to close the distance against Andrade, he was so defensively responsible. I don't think Andrade caught him any time. At one point, even in those first 2 rounds, where you can say Andrade won those rounds just off pure activity, he could not catch David with a clean one, even though David was coming forward at him or just standing in front of him. Because even when Andrade threw combinations, whether it's to the head, to the body, to the chest, David would literally, with his hands, if the punch came up here, he blocked it. Like, so it would be so quick because Andrade is pretty quick. He threw punches, right? Combinations. And David, what if the punch went up here, he blocked it. If it went down to the body, he blocked it. He blocked them all, literally. Like his arms are like an armor or a sword, right? Like a sword fight. He was just blocking everything that came at him, all the bullets. He just and still coming forward. And so the commentators were like, Andrade's doing so good landing combinations. He really wasn't. Watch the replay. He really wasn't. David was catching everything and then throwing his jab and catching Andrade because he's so long. And Andrade, to me, is a faster guy than Canelo. And so if Andrade couldn't catch David clean, who's standing in front of him and coming forward, coming at him, you would think like this guy, he's coming at me. You would think because he's Mexican that he's going to go toe-to-toe with you. David is way smarter than that. He does not... someone like a Mexican style kind of fighter would he like with a great chin obviously would want to go toe to toe with you, like Julio Cesar Chavez Sr., best known for that Mexican style, and other guys, Eric Morales. But the thing is, they would eat a couple to land a big one, literally going toe to toe with you. Let's see who's more macho, who could take more punches. But David is not like that. David is kind of has that Mexican style coming forward kind of fighter, but he's also defensively responsible. And it's hard to catch him clean, even though he's tall and lean and long. And he's just too quick. He's quick. Even when I even saw him lunging and missing in the first round or in the second round at Andrade, he threw himself off balance by throwing like a right hook or a jab, trying to reach Andrade. It was at the end of the round. And he still managed to get his hands up fast enough to block Andrade's, counter. So that's the reason why I think, to be honest with you, I don't think Canelo would even touch David. I think David would be too slick, too fast for him defensively. Just defensively, David Benavidez would be too fast, too slick, too quick, too smart to allow Canelo to catch him with a clean shot. Because Canelo, even though he's powerful, he has he has power. He's so slow. That's the reason why he couldn't KO. He definitely put on a masterclass versus Charlo, but he couldn't knock him out. David knocks out that same Charlo, that running Charlo that was running against Canelo. David knocks him out. The reason why Canelo couldn't knock him out because he's so slow. He telegraphs his punches, and like I was mentioning Andrade earlier. Andrade is way faster. And David, even on the inside, standing in front of Andrade, he blocked all of his shots, no matter where they went. If they went to the head, he blocked it. Even the low blows that Andrade threw, he even blocked those. His arms are so amazing. I've never seen a fighter that big that can do such a thing. Like, he'll literally throw a jab, catch you, and then bring back his arm to his face to block himself, to defend himself within like a tenth of a second. He's so quick with it. And I'm just after seeing this fight versus Andrade, the masterclass he put on him, and how hard it was for him to even touch Benavidez, even though he was throwing combinations. And Andrade is pretty quick on his feet and with his hands, way faster than Canelo. Whether you think it's by a lot or not, he's faster than Canelo. And so if Benavidez could see Andrade's speed, his punches coming, imagine Canelo, who pretty much is slow and telegraphs his punches and relies too much on power. No longer combinations. Even if he had combinations, the old Canelo had combinations, David would still see them coming and block them all. Like, it's going to be so easy for David to walk Canelo down while being defensively responsible. It's gonna be another masterclass for David, um, because Canelo is not, he's not fast enough. He's not long enough. He's not even tall enough to get on the inside with David and catch him with a clean shot. He's gonna have to swing up as well. So we saw what happened against Bivol, where he's literally, when Bivol was against the ropes, you saw Canelo kind of leap up. Canelo caught him with an uppercut like in the fourth round, but you saw him kind of have to leap up, jump up a little bit to catch him with that uppercut. And I think David is taller than Bivol, so it's gonna be so many things going against disadvantages for Canelo. He's slower. David is gonna see every punch he sees that the Canelo throws. He's shorter. Yes, he has power, but he has to land a clean shot while David is pretty much piercing his guard. So I just remembered another time Canelo had to leave the canvas, jump off the canvas to hurt someone or to catch someone at 168, and it was Caleb Plant. That same shot he hurt Caleb Plant with in the 11th round, he actually had to leave the canvas, so he can reach Caleb's head or chin. And yeah, he jumped off the canvas. So yeah, and I don't know. I think who's taller? I don't remember. I don't know if it's David or Caleb. But yeah, Canelo being short is not, like I was saying earlier, it's not going to be good for him against David. But the more important thing why I don't want this fight to happen is because if David does demolish Canelo, it's not going to be good for boxing, because right now Canelo is the only guy doing 500, 600, 700 plus PPVs. No one else outside of maybe Ryan, and not Tank, because let's face it, Ryan did those numbers. He was the reason why those PPVs sold so well. That PPV sold so well, and he's about to do hopefully similar against Haney, another, close to 1 million. Even if he does more than 500, 600 plus, 600K plus, it's still more than Tank has ever done. Tank, the highest he's gotten was around 250 without Ryan, and that was because his opponent, Rowley. So Canelo's pretty much right now the only one that's carrying boxing. Who else is doing that many every single fight, 500 plus PPVs? Like, who else? Not Tank. Ryan is barely getting there. He's gonna do that against Haney, and I believe Ryan can do that against Teofimo. He can do it against pretty much a lot of these top fighters. Well, I don't think Haney and Tank can even reach. It might do 500, should do, but it might not. You can't promise anything with them. Look at Spence and Crawford waited a whole decade and it's only sold 500,000. So there's no promises there. Canelo is the only one that can do 500 plus 600K PPVs per fight, no matter who he fights. So it wouldn't be healthy for boxing if David smashes Canelo to the point where he's not the same anymore, or where he loses some kind of where people lose interest in wanting to pay to watch Canelo anymore. So I don't want this fight to happen until 2-3 years from now, when Canelo's ready to retire, so Canelo can keep carrying boxing, because I don't think David, even if he beats him, is going to do 500K PPVs with just anybody, and maybe Bivol, but who else? Maybe the Cuban kid at 168, but that's a huge maybe. But who else? Like, there's nobody. While Canelo can go fight Berlanga, couple of guys the Canadian, and Billy. Yeah, he's running out of options, but Canelo, hopefully new guys pop up for him to fight, and easier fights than David. Because he'll still sell very well against anybody. And like I said, it'll be good for boxing because nobody else is carrying boxing like him. Even the heavyweights aren't carrying boxing; they're just getting paid Saudi money. But I don't think they're doing, outside of Jake Paul, a YouTuber. I don't think they're doing 500K every single time they fight. PPVs or a million PPVs. Outside of Canelo and basically Ryan Garcia, Ryan Garcia is probably gonna be the guy to carry boxing after Canelo retires. So that's the main reason why I don't want this fight to happen, David versus Canelo, because it wouldn't be good for boxing. It wouldn't be healthy for boxing. No one else can do what Canelo is doing right now, business-wise, putting boxing on the map this way. UFC might just the UFC fans are gonna laugh at boxing because they don't have anyone like that, like Canelo. Hopefully Ryan's beats Haney, and he can be the next face of boxing. Help Canelo out. So and when he retires, Ryan can be that guy. But yeah, hopefully it don't happen anytime soon, and Canelo can keep carrying boxing.